You've seen the moon and its darker side. I can feel the gravity, the forces pull between you and me. Yes, it's true, I'm falling hard for you, but I won't rush this love. I can wait even if it's hard to take. One moment is enough. I will be standing here right by your side. I will be standing here till the end of time. I will be standing here all through the night, till the stars align. A little lighter over time. Yes, it's true, I'm falling hard for you, but I won't rush this love. I can wait even if it's hard to take. One moment is enough. I will be standing here right by your side. I will be standing here till the end of time. I will be standing here all through the night, till the stars align.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast. It's been such a long time since he's done a live episode of the podcast. I'm buzzing to be back. I'm buzzing to bring you actually what on face value maybe doesn't look like the most exciting game of football, but actually turned out to be a really good game. I feel like I say that for every 0-0 draw. I promise you, this one was actually really quite interesting and intriguing. A few new bits to the live stream today. We've got a live tactics board. I want to delve into that as well. You seem to like it for the Ipswich match reaction. You like that tactics board element. I'm going to sort of break the game down using the tactics board. Like I said, you enjoyed it in the Ipswich ones. I thought, let's bring it to a live one. Let's see how that goes. If you do like it, and if you like the stream and you like the match reaction, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe and comment down below. We've got our first chat of the stream. It's always Matthew Bell. Well, it's not always Matthew Bell, but it is this time. A lot of the time it's Matthew Bell. He said, solid result that. We certainly take it. We do indeed. Matthew, how are you doing? It's been a while since the live streams, but I'm so excited for them to be back. Saturday night streams. I do like doing them. Saturday night match reactions, Saturday night podcasts, Saturday night everything. I'm loving to be back. It's brilliant to be back. But it did finish 0-0, and like Matthew said there, we're not going to brush over that point. There's a lot to take from it. I know he hasn't written a paragraph, he hasn't written loads, but what he has said, and he summed the game up absolutely brilliantly. A 0-0 draw against top of the league, with so many different circumstances Oxford United find themselves in, I think we certainly take it indeed. And like I said there, Matthew, he hasn't written a newspaper article amount of information about Oxford's game today, but what he did say is completely correct. In so many different circumstances and in so many different ways, Oxford United prevailed and got what, I'm going to be honest, is going to be a massive point come the end of the season. I think, well, however you look at it, that is going to be a absolutely huge result. And I'm absolutely buzzing, really. Absolutely buzzing to come away from it, really, with actually, we've come away with something, with not just a point as well. I think a lot more than that. I think also belief, confidence. I think you can take so much from it. Because like I said as well, these players that played today, look, it was 14 players who've got currently out with either COVID-19, self-isolating because of being in close contact with COVID-19 / self-isolating, all of which are self-isolating, and also injuries as well. So many different factors influenced today's game, and it was the same against Fleetwood as well, and we did fantastically well to beat Fleetwood. But this is a different gravy. This is top of the league. This is a team that, as of where we are right now, and still now, they're still top of the league, are the best team in the division. The best team in the league are Rotherham United, and when we got something from the game, we got a point, and we also, I think, matched them in so many points in the game. I'd say the majority of the game as well. Now, we will come on to the stats as well, because I won't lie. I honestly won't lie that there were points in the game where Rotherham definitely were on top of us and definitely were sort of dictating the game and also controlling the game as well. I'm not going to pretend that it was all Oxford, because it certainly wasn't. But what Oxford did do, and what Oxford did very, very well, was stay in the game. Also, like I said, in moments where they weren't having the biggest spells of the game, they stuck with it, they believed in themselves, and they just worked hard for each other. And that's the most important thing as well. They worked hard for each other and made sure whatever happens, they're going to put 100% effort in. Because when you're playing against the best team, whoever you're playing, in terms of whoever the individual is and whoever the personality is, when you're playing top of the league, it's going to be such a difficult game. And we knew that coming into this. We knew it was going to be an extremely difficult game, whatever the circumstances. On top of those circumstances as well, and when you add those circumstances and you add that in, I think we're phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal today. And I think the players, the coaches, Carl Robinson, of course, they all deserve so much credit, because what they've done in the past week and what the club has been through in the past week is something that hopefully we'll never have to see again. But like I said, the Fleetwood result was massive, but this result is huge. Top of the league. In, like I said, the way that we had to approach the game today against a fantastic footballing side, I think just full credit goes to that as well. That's my general view on it, and that's just my initial reaction to it as well. Let's hear your thoughts then. Paul Gross says, definitely a great result, especially in these circumstances, 100%. Matthew says, McNally, what a player. We as a club team to find ballers from every league. What a signing he's proven to be. And Matthew, I want to stick with that point as well, because I want to come back to that. I want to come back to the recruitment of McNally, because again, he was phenomenal today. Absolutely phenomenal. Remember, like Matthew, like Paul, give your thoughts in the live chat. I'll be reading out all of your thoughts in the live chat. I want to use your points to fuel the discussion and start different conversations like Matthew has done there with McNally, and like Paul's mentioned there as well. I want to get all of your thoughts in, so give them in the live chat. It's free to type your thoughts in that live chat. I'll see it and I'll read it. Also, if you're new around here, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe, because I'm on the road to 600 subscribers. I want to hit 600 subscribers. I'm going to say before Christmas. That could be a bit of a tall order though, but if we can do that, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, back to the game. Yeah, I thought, like I said, it was a tough game. It was going to be a tough game, whatever, but we were fantastic and we stuck with it. We stuck in the game. We held on in points in the game where we certainly felt like we were under the cosh, and that's sometimes what you need to do. They hit the woodwork twice, but we stayed with it. We got behind each other, and we then went again and again, and we didn't let things hold us back as well, because you almost don't need to go a goal behind for that confidence to drop. You know, when you're under the cosh, sometimes you can go, right, this is inevitable, it's going to go in. But it almost didn't feel like it was inevitable, because we knew we'd come back stronger. We'd go, right, that was a close call. That was a wake-up call. We go again. We make sure that doesn't happen. It happened twice when they hit the woodwork, but it doesn't matter, because we kept going and we kept going. And that's what Oxford United did so well today. Right, I want to move over to tactics board, because I know everyone likes a tactics board. Who doesn't like a tactics board? Hopefully you can still hear me as well, because last time we switched over to the other screen, the audio wasn't there, and I couldn't see the live chat. I can now see the live chat as well. So make sure, can you see what's going on? I'm going to make sure I get it on my phone as well, so I can double check that you can still hear me, and that you can see the tactics board nice and clear. So this, if you can see and hear me, this is the tactics board, and this is how the teams lined up. You can, I believe, hear me still. There we go. We're in business, people. You can still hear me. You can still see me. Right. So this is how the teams lined up. This is in an Oxford United. That was a difficult one to pronounce. This is in an Oxford United attacking phase. So this is how Oxford United lined up. Like I said, there's a few changes there. You might have not heard of Truman if you didn't see the Fleetwood game. That is our emergency goalkeeper, who I believe has now left the club, who's only here on a 7-day loan. Truman, he was in goal, and my thoughts on Truman. Thank you is the first one. I doubt you're watching Truman, but if you are, thank you so much. You really have helped us out here to come in, and he did okay against Fleetwood. He might feel like he was to blame for that. Not to blame, but he could have maybe done a little bit better with that first goal on Tuesday night. But generally, a really, really good, solid goalkeeper. Really, he didn't do anything wrong. His distribution a little bit AWOL, but it got better. I'm going to be honest, it did get better, and generally a solid goalkeeper who came in and did the job and helped us out. So thank you to Truman, and yeah, he'll go back to Birmingham City, and yeah, like I said, he really, really helps us out, Truman. In terms of that back four then, so yeah, a little bit of a different back four, as you can see there. Seddon at left back, he's really the player that stayed and has continued to stay at left back through this quite difficult period, and also is a massive player that we need to sort of rely on in these difficult times. And he's been very, very good since the start of the season, we know that. Sam Long did a job at centre-back. I thought once again he was fantastic. I don't know if he got man of the match on Tuesday night. I don't think he did, but he deserved to get serious credit on Tuesday, and again today. I know McNally got man of the match today. McNally was fantastic, but Sam Long was absolutely phenomenal. And I also think as well, I've got to be honest, the reason why McNally, I think, was doing so well is because Sam Long next to him was marshalling that defence and controlling that defence. And I absolutely thought that Long was I'm not saying McNally, it's not. I don't think it was being carried by Long. I'm not saying that. But McNally's performances were definitely down or partly down to Long being next to him and doing a fantastic job with him there. So massive credit to Sam Long, massive credit to McNally. They've been fantastic. And Hansen at right back, we'll come on to him in a little bit more detail today, because that's another player on this tactics board I want to show you a few things from today. But Hansen, again, like I said, in different circumstances. I mean, let's be honest, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. He is a player that is probably the weakest link in this side. And that probably is down to the fact he doesn't play a lot of games of football. He's injured, quite often. Hopefully now, and hopefully for him, and touch wood for any player that, and specifically now for Hansen, that he is now going to stay fit, and he is going to get that get that match fitness up again. It's going to be difficult because I think we're all going to be honest. I don't think Hansen will be surprised with me saying this. Again, he's probably not watching, but I don't think any Hansen fans will be surprised either. When we do have the full squad back, Hansen probably won't be playing at right back. It will go back to being Long at right back and back to the centre backs back in there. So will Hansen build up that match experience and match fitness? I don't know, but he definitely was the weak link and has been the weak link. He hasn't done anything necessarily very bad, but you can see that he's not quite up to the speed and not quite up to scratch. Again, that could come down, like I said, to that match experience. I keep saying match experience. That match fitness, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we've got to be fair, but also honest. I think that's the most important thing. Murphy says, all good, thank you very much. Paul Gross says, fair play to Truman, looked a bit shaky, not too bad though, and we needed him, exactly. And if you sum it up perfectly, Paul, exactly what I'm trying to say, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to midfield. For some reason, we haven't named Paul Herbie Kane. Herbie Kane is number 26, isn't he? There we go. Right, so this is also in that in this phase of play. Let's move on to position by position. Herbie Kane, again, a player that's been phenomenal since he joined. A little bit first few games, let's see what he's doing. A little bit, I guess, growing into it, and then since that Gillingham game, he was fantastic, and he's just really, yes, he's had better games than others, but that's football. Herbie Kane again today was fantastic. Him and Brannigan playing. Brannigan was a little bit higher up, but generally Kane was fantastic. He played in a deeper line midfield role and did a fantastic job. Very happy with Herbie Kane. McGuane in front of him as well. He got his first start, I believe, for quite a while actually, and he was very, very good again today. Drove, and what McGuane does very, very well is getting hold of the ball and driving at defenders. This running here in this area, a lot of room in this area here. I've sort of almost created a gap for itself here. You can see running in that area, picking up the ball around here, and then moving into space. And then that draws Wiles, and that draws Balaza. Is it Balaza? Apologies, pronunciation of that name. And it draws him in, and it then opens up not just space in here for Brannigan and for Gavin White to sort of drop a little bit deeper. Also Herbie Kane to push up, but it also draws fouls, and McGuane did that so often. So often. He runs into space. He's got that powerful pace. He drives. He's a very, very driven player. Not just on the pitch, I'm sure off the pitch as well, but on the pitch you can see he drives with the ball. He gets hold of it. He draws fouls and he runs into space, drawing other players out of position and also winning fouls as well. So McGuane did a fantastic job again today. Like I said, I mentioned Brannigan. It wasn't his best game. It certainly wasn't his worst game. Just a solid midfield sort of performance from him and Kane and him in particular. Gavin White again playing as that striker, and what he did very, very well today was getting in behind. Now I haven't shown it brilliantly here because it's sort of like in a stopped position, but Gavin White on the break was fantastic. If we just push these defenders high up, of course, remember, got to remember the other players, the other Rotherham players would also be higher up because this would leave them in a more attacking place. But say they're on the break, what Gavin White has got is that pace. He's got the pace, and he's got a fantastic dribbling ability as well to get in behind, and Gavin White did that so well, getting in behind. We've got 7 people in here right now. Thank you so much, everybody that's tuning in. Subscribe, leave a like, and most importantly, give your thoughts in the live chat. I want to hear from you. Your thoughts, Rotherham perspective, Oxford perspective, neutral perspective. Give your thoughts in the live chat. I'll be reading out all of your thoughts. We've got a few people in here right now. Very, very exciting stuff. As you see, auction, I've just tweeted there, 13 players out, emergency goalkeeper on loan. Like I said, we come back to what I said at the start and what Paul said at the start. Difficult circumstances, a point against league leaders. What a week these lads have had, and what a fantastic job these lads have done as well. Anyway, getting back to it, Gavin White getting in behind, phenomenal at getting in behind. He's without a goal this season. He needs a goal. A bit of confidence will get him that. Confidence we needed, and I think maybe is the reason why he's not getting that goal. But what that goal will give him is that massive confidence. I feel like if he does if he does score that goal, that confidence will grow. But what he did do very well was getting in behind those defenders, causing trouble with that pace. And Brannigan can unlock the doors. He can unlock those passing lanes and allow White to go through. There was one time when Holland picked it up. I think he was playing I think it was Holland on this side actually. He had the space on the breakaway and he was running. And Gavin White was trying to get it, and then he finally did it, and he was offside. Holland could have done it very, very much earlier, and that was a little bit frustrating. But like I said again, that shows again that pace on the break. You can see that front three there. Henry's not the quickest of players, but we know Henry technically is a beautiful player. Gavin White is a very, very quick player. Holland's a quick player. It caused a lot of a really, really good play on the counter attack, and I think that's why it worked really, really well this afternoon, and we did a great job of it. Who is this? Spicy Gaming says Rotherham are a hard team. Must have been a good game. Unlucky that no one won though. Rotherham are a hard team. It must be a good game. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Rotherham are a fantastic side. I don't think were Rotherham the best team I've seen so far this season. Maybe. It's close between them and Plymouth. I'm not gonna lie. Plymouth and Rotherham, who are expected to be up there, they are still up there this season. Have had good seasons, although Plymouth did lose their 3rd game on the trot this afternoon as well. They did lose to Wigan, who again we've got to play in a few weeks' time. We're meant to play, of course, last week, but that obviously didn't happen. Again, they're up there this season, and Rotherham, yeah, like you said there, Spicy Gaming, fantastic opposition. They are where they are for a reason. They are the league leaders for a reason. There's no doubt there as well. And I got to be honest as well. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I didn't for a minute go, these are unstoppable. I didn't, but I also didn't. You could tell the team and the organisation of a team, they deserve to be where they are, and that's really, really important. They look like a side that was well drilled, well organised. They had a system, and that formation as well looks a little bit bizarre. And I haven't touched that formation yet either because I've sort of been going through player for player. But I mean, there's not much to say on the other lads really. Holland was good, ran at players. That second half in particular, very, very good. Got a really good shooting opportunity in that second half and caused a few problems. And I thought Holland was really, really good. Quieter first half, but second half he sort of came to life. We know what Holland can do, that pace, running at players fantastically well. Henry as well, not a busy game for Henry really, but again a solid performance, nothing bad, nothing like I said, mind-blowing and unbelievable, but still a very, very solid performance from him. Didn't really put a foot wrong at all really. That's a lot of the players. Well, I don't think any players put a foot wrong, really. A few individual sort of mistakes, I guess. Handsome looked a little bit all over the shop at times. That sounded a bit... not in the... Yeah, it was a little bit over the shop. And I want to show this as well. This is what I really want to show you. So this is, again, that was an attacking... an attacking Oxford phase. I'm now going to show you a attacking... Rotherham phase. I was going to say Wigan there. It's not Wigan, it's Rotherham. Rotherham phase. So on this side here, so this straight away, this formation's a little bit of a bizarre one. And I want to show this formation as well because I think it's quite interesting. A lot of people are going to be like, what is this formation? I mean, it technically is a 3-1-4-2, technically. I think it is what what it is, really. But the way they played it, I thought was really, really interesting. So they have 3 defenders in this sort of position here, as I guess centre-backs, as narrow as defenders. So almost like a 3 at the back in, for example, a 3, I guess like a 3-4-3, with wing-backs, as essential as those defenders and those centre-backs, as if it was in like a 5 at the back or a 3 at the back with wing backs. But they didn't really play with wing backs because I wouldn't say Miller and number 11. I'm not going to try and pronounce that name. I'll get it horribly wrong. So Miller, I can just about get with Miller, but I don't think I can do the number 11. They weren't really wing backs. They weren't sort of playing like this. And they also, they didn't really track back too much. That's what I'm trying to say. They weren't sort of sat there, and because that very clearly looks like a 5 at the back with a holding midfielder, 2 midfielders, and 2 strikers. 2 central midfielders, 2 strikers. That's what it looks like, and that looks like sort of quite a sort of normal formation setup. But it wasn't really that. It was almost like this. It was like that. It literally was simply like that. And it almost felt that at points in the game as well, they had that ability to go sort of in transition. The number 4 here would just sit and then just drop back in there. And then just like that, quite simply, you've created a back 4. So it was a sort of and I'm not going to lie, it didn't happen often, but when it needed to, in different points in the game, Beleza would just come back a little bit and just almost play a little bit deeper and turn that into a back 4. And there would be times, I think more often, where I would see them come, the wingers would come a little bit deeper, and it would then turn into a back 5. But very, very often, especially in that attacking Rotherham phase, it was very, very forward. And that is what I like to see. The amount of crosses. I want to go over to this screen here. This screen over here shows those dribbles. Those crosses and dribbles as well, but those dribbles in particular. So those crosses here, 40 crosses they made, and only 9 of them actually worked. Were actually accurate. 9. They made 40 crosses in the game, and you could see that during the game. You felt like they'd made 40 crosses, because Miller in particular, he was just coming up here with Smith, who's got 12 goals this season already. I think it is 12 in 17 games. Ladapo as well. He's a torched player. They got 2 massive centre forwards, and 2 of them that are scoring goals this season as well. You can see how those are getting goals. You can see why they are getting goals and why their strikers are scoring, because these lads here, these wingers, who are almost wingers, they're not really wing backs. They are wingers, are running it down the touchline and just pinging these balls in 40 times across the game, and it felt like a lot. There's so many times where you're watching a game of football and you go, they've made crosses, and you look at the stats, you go, they made crosses. They made a serious number of crosses, but it really felt like you walked out of that ground. You walked away thinking about the game. You thought, what did Rotherham do most? Or when you think Rotherham in that game, what do you think? Pinging balls in the area. And that's why Smith and Ladapo, I think, have done so well this season, and why they're scoring goals, because you've got Miller and number 11 just running down the flanks. And I also feel as well, but what's the most important thing, Rotherham have got a system, and you could pretty much play anyone there. Miller was generally, he could put a ball in. There were times where it was a little bit all over shot, but you think about it, it's almost similar to, and I'm not, let's be careful how I put this, but, let's think Liverpool, for example. Robertson, Alex Alexander-Arnold. Alexander... We're getting there. You know what I'm trying to say. Robertson, the fullbacks, Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. There we go. Trying to get those double barrel names out today. Double barrel names out. What is going on with the names? It's been a while since the live episode, hasn't it? It's been a while since we've done a live podcast. You can, going back to it anyway. The fullbacks of Liverpool, you can see how many times they put balls into the penalty area. And when people go when I think Liverpool, I think putting balls in the area, and it's like, you have to think how many balls they're putting in, and that's how many times they put it in, how many and that's why it works so well. You think Trent gets so many assists, well, how many times does he put the ball in the penalty area? And also, whichever fullback comes into the side at Liverpool as well, they can put balls in any area. And it's similar here at Rotherham. They just put balls in every single time. It doesn't matter who they are, how they're playing, who they're playing, putting balls into the penalty area, and they're doing so well at it. Our Spicy Gamer says, I think Rotherham will win the league. very, very interesting. Rotherham do look good. They do look good. Would I say they're title-winning side? We have to wait and see. Like I said, they are a very, very good side. There's no doubt there. Matthew says, yeah, White needs a goal for sure. I'm pretty confident once that goal comes, we'll see the performance we see when he was at the club before he joined Cardiff. Yeah, it does feel like he needs that confidence boost. Like I said, today he did very, very well playing as that striker and did okay against Fleetwood as well. He nearly scored against Fleetwood. It was a pretty tame effort, unfortunately. He nearly scored. He got a good opportunity. But again, you felt like today that he did well in his position. Just doesn't need that goal, Matthew. Spot on. Paul Gross says, absolutely, White isn't a striker, but I feel he puts a lot of pressure on the other team's defenders, which Taylor doesn't do much. I understand, Paul, and I will come back again to that comment, that live chat you put there about the Matty Taylor comparison, because I have a discussion with someone about that. Paul Gross says, we were lucky to go in at 0-0 at times. I thought second half we were better than them. It's interesting. I would have to say I agree. We did look much better in that second half. The first, I thought we were hanging on at times. I hit the woodwork twice. Like I said, there's a lot of room for Miller down this side. I sit in this side. Imagine where the cursor is. I'm basically sat where the bench is here, not where the actual bench is, where the virtual bench is here on the screen. I sit about here, on where the cursor is. And all the game, the whole of the first half, I'm just seeing Miller do this, and he's just running, he's picking the ball up. Now, this is where I want to mention Hansen. I'm not going to pick on Hansen for too long, because I do think there is because he grew into the game. I've got to be honest, he grew into the game. But you can almost feel that there's something there, that he does need more and more game time to sort of build that up, and get better and better and better. He almost feels like a player, and you can see it in a player that hasn't played a lot of football, which is understandable, of course. But let's say this is now a Rotherham attack. I thought I've explained, but hopefully I've explained the formation being slightly strange. So it's a sort of a 3 at the back, but with almost sort of, centre-backs, wide centre-backs that can turn into full-backs. It's really, really interesting. And then sort of like very, very attacking wing-backs. I'd always just say wingers, to be honest. And then, that sort of holding midfield, that number 4. And that number 4, by the way, stayed as a number 4. He rarely really got involved in attacks. He was always sort of in that centre of the park, in front of the defence. And then Rathbone and Wiles sort of did that midfield work in there as well, and did well. They also helped go forward. But it was that sort of holding number 4 that was sort of sat in front of that 3. And you also felt there, like, you then thought, well, surely then you'd go and you'd sort of use the flanks. But then you almost felt then in a position where they were almost playing very wide, like this. And then you go, well, surely there's more room in behind, and there's more room to go down more centrally. And you go, I mean, we did use him behind, but then Baleza can come in here. And also, this number 20 here, by the way, I'm trying to get them players. It's quite difficult to move them. This number 20, who has got another fantastic name I cannot pronounce. He was the captain, by the way, for Rotherham and did a fantastic job today. He was a very, very good player. And he's a very, very big lad. Very, very big, strong defender. League One defender, as I call them. And he was very, very good at just roaming in those areas. He didn't really need Edmonds Green to be so tight to him. He didn't really need Harding to be too tight to him. He had that ability to cover the pitch and cover those big areas. And he did very, very well at that. So almost you feel like there was one way or another you're going to get in behind them or try and go against that defence, but they sort of had an answer for it. So fair play. They set up brilliantly. Anyway, let's go back to the Hansen thing. Also, keep giving your thoughts in the live chat. By the way, I want to hear your thoughts. If people are giving their thoughts, I want to hear everyone's thoughts as per usual. People enjoying the stream? I think people are enjoying the stream. Make sure you keep leaving a like, guys, and subscribe. That's fantastic. Keep giving your thoughts. How are we doing? Been fantastic, by the way, stream. Absolutely fantastic. Saturday night stream. Love it. You've got that sort of 3 that can play there. But you've also here, let's talk about Hansen and Miller. Because, I mean, Hansen and Miller, they played against each other for the whole of the first half, and it felt like they played against each other the first half. It almost felt like a 2-man battle, really, or a 1v1 battle for the whole of that first half, because Hansen was sort of playing quite in there, quite narrow, and also getting dragged in a little bit too much for my liking. And that was probably also, I wouldn't say it's fully Hansen, that might have been a tactical decision, and we didn't concede in the first half, so I can't really knock it too much. It's not like we conceded a goal from it, so I'm not going to go, too over the top about it, but you did almost feel that it could have easily led to a goal, and that's why I'm going to mention it, because in points, I think Rotherham could have done a little bit better. Let's get the ball. Let's get the old circles out. We love a circle. Can we do we need a circle? Are we just doing it for circle's sake? No, we don't really need a circle. We'll get the ball. If we need a circle, we'll get a circle. But let's just not whip him out for no reason. Let's not do that. And that is in all walks of life. Anyway, right. Let's get this ball here. Here he is. Right. The ball is in this area here. So the midfield, by the way, for Rotherham were very, very good on the ball and were able to sort of. They had that ability really to ping that ball over. And Miller in this area, because Hansen was playing quite narrow, maybe not that, slight exaggeration, sort of here, Miller had a lot of room. He had all of this room here. And in so many times, they were able to do it. But if they did it more often, I think we could have seen a serious issue. The ball had to come out here, and because Hansen was playing quite narrow, Miller was given a lot of room. Now, like I said, we can't fully blame Hansen for this, because I think this may have been a tactical way of looking at things. But Ladapo and Smith playing sort of in that two, because they were two tall, very, very good centre forwards. Again, League One centre forwards, very, very good attacking players who clearly pose a threat and have posed a threat already this season against so many different teams and are scoring goals. Because they almost played quite close to each other, but they played in this role here. Long and McNally had to keep their eyes very, very close on these two lads here. And also Hansen was making sure that Ladapo again was trying to keep quiet. But that allowed Miller to come forward. And this is what I mean about, because you remember as well, when the midfielders came forward, you're also playing like this. It almost felt like they just bombed forward. They came at Oxford United in so many different ways. And Hansen was dragged in, and then Miller had all of this room to run into. Like I said, we didn't concede from it, so we can't be too harsh. But you did feel like when that ball could be played over, there's a lot of room for Miller to walk into, or run into. He didn't walk. He ran into it, and could have easily run into it. And that came from Hansen playing quite narrow and allowing that space, and allowing that room. And also being dragged in, and Miller had a lot of running room. And I'm going to use it on the other side as well, because I feel like if we look at it from the other perspective, the other side, the reason why the number 11 didn't have the same sort of field day, if you like, was because Seddon was playing a little bit wider. And it also says, wow, Seddon played with a little bit more confidence, and that again comes from playing week in, week out, and also having that sort of match fitness. He's sharp, he's on it. Like I said, he's played pretty much every league game this season. I'm pretty sure every league game this season. So he knows how to sort of to play against these players as well, because again, he's played fullback probably more times than Hansen has, because Hansen again isn't actually a right back. He started off as a midfielder in his career, so Hansen hasn't played a lot of football at right back because of that injury, and also, like I said, it's not his natural position. Seddon's got that ability in him that he can play a little bit higher up. He knows that number 11, what that number 11 wants to do. He wants to run at him, but also Seddon not just kept that number 11 quiet. He had a good game, Seddon. He also was able to come up here and help out going forward, help Holland defensively. Out Holland going forward, and also Holland helped Seddon defensively, I must say as well. But they posed and they definitely targeted Hansen, and you could see that, and we knew they probably would. Let's not sit here and be too surprised about it. You felt like they would do that. They know that Hansen probably is going to be that slight weak link. And he sort of was, and sort of is. And you can see why they were going to do that. And they did. But like I said, we can't be too harsh on it. Like I said, it didn't lead to a goal. Let's not go sort of over the top too much and dig him out too much. Because like I said, generally he had a good game. That's really what I want to show you. Really, that's everything. Really, I can really think of. The formation of Rotherham was that system is interesting and worked a fantastic job. Their goalkeeper made some good saves as well. I thought he was good in goal. The distribution was, like I said, really, really good. Kane had a good game. Brannigan and McGuane did well in midfield. White needs a goal, like we've already mentioned on this episode. But again, very, very good at getting in behind and causing trouble. So yeah, happy with that. And yeah, generally looking at it from a point perspective, if you like, of just a League One perspective, very, very happy with it. And I'm glad that. Yeah, we've got something out of it, and again, fair play, full credit goes to Oxford United, the coaching staff, everyone about the club. They did a fantastic job, and yeah, really, really happy that we've come away with a point, because it's a big point. It's a big point as well. Let's show you the league table. Why not? We've got time. We've got that in us. We can show the league table. Here we go. Rotherham, like I said, they are top of the league. They are top of the league, and they, like I said already, they look like a team top of the league. Let's not forget that they look like a team at the top of the league. A lot of different circumstances, sort of rounding up, like I said at the start, coming back to where we started, a circulative end of the podcast. You can sort of see that they're a very, very good side. Also, the form as well for Oxford, let's just mention that. It's sort of irrelevant to our point, but I'm just seeing there that the Oxford and Rotherham have the exact same form in the last 5 games. Very, very interesting. Not literally the exact same form, but 3 wins out of the last 5. The rest are draws. Very, very exciting. Only, of course, 6 points off the top with a game in hand on Rotherham, 2 games in hand on some teams around us in that top 6 as well. Oxford in a very, very good position. Oxford in a very, very nice position, and I'm very, very excited to see Oxford United continue to do that and continue to play in that way. Very, very exciting stuff. Now, I also want to mention that. Obviously, we're coming into the Christmas period, and Oxford United have got a lot of games coming up, and so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how we deal with that. And on top of that, like I said, fixture congestion and a lot of games in the Christmas festive period. It's fantastic for fans, for players. They must not like it too much. I imagine not all of them enjoy the fact they've got to play pretty much twice a week. And like I said, in the real Christmas time, we're talking about games, just 2-day breaks in between. So yeah, it's an interesting month and an interesting time of the year, and some quite difficult games. Of course, Sunderland next week. I'm not going to the game, unfortunately, not because of any other reason actually that I'm going. Hopefully, can I say? I'm thinking if I can say exactly why, because I don't really want to give too much away if it doesn't happen. I can say that there's a high chance, and it's looking hopeful that I'm going to make an appearance back on Wasn't at the Game, live on BBC Radio Oxford. Wasn't at the Game. Of course, the sort of match reaction show on live radio. I've did it a few times last season. I did the summer special last season as well. I was on there as a pundit. Hopefully back on there as a guest next week. That's why I'm not going to the game. I'm watching it from home, and I'm also hopefully going to be going back on there. Like I said, it's not confirmed yet, so I'm not gonna, so don't hold me to it. Whatever happens, we'll do a match reaction. Whether we're on it, we'll just do it after the show, or if I'm not on the radio, then I'll just do it straight after the game as usual. But that's why I'm not going to the game. That's as it stands. Why I'm not going to the game is because of that is a potential reason, and also it's a 5-hour journey there and back. So 10 hours on a coach, I'm weighing it up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an Oxford fan. I'm an Oxford fan through and through. I've made a few away trips this season that have been quite a while, but I think Sunderland might just be a step too far. I think today's point really shows how important a good squad depth we've got. Matthew, you're spot on. Yeah, you're spot on. That reminds me, Matthew, you said something right at the start I wanted to come back to. That was McNally and the recruitment. Very, very impressed, like I said, with Luke McNally. And the recruitment we've done there with centre-backs coming in. Rob Dickey's gone on to be a fantastic centre-back, and we bought him on the cheap, really, didn't we? Elliot Moore came in from Leicester. Again, we got him on the cheap. McNally's come in from, Northern Ireland, I believe. We got him pretty much, I guess, on a good fee, and I think he looked like he's getting better and better as well. He looks like a really, really good player now. What we're doing, again, we've got things wrong. Clubs get things wrong with recruitment. It's not, you're not going to get everything right in the window. You think how many players come into a football club, the percentage that sort of turn out to be fantastic signings. There's some that just don't. I can name a few. I won't, because I don't really want to dig too many players out. But there's ones that haven't worked out. But ultimately, you've got to credit the fact that the Luke McNally one has worked out really, really well, and he looks like he is getting better and better as they go on. The more game opportunities he gets, he looks stronger, he looks more confident, he looks like a League One defender the more you watch him play, and that's all you can ask for. And he's done a fantastic job. So tall, great in the air, and he combated and dealt with the 2 strikers, Micheal Smith and Adapo, actually really, really well. And controversial or not, I'd say he dealt with it better. I think Thornley would have done, because Thornley's a little bit shorter than McNally, and the height of Micheal Smith and Ladapo, I think Luke McNally dealt with that so well. So yeah, you make a great point right at the start. I wanted to come back to it, so I made sure I did. But there we go. Hopefully that is everything. If you've got any more last thoughts, let me know. I want to read out anything else you've got to say. Any more points, any more things you want to mention before we go. It's been a while since a live episode of the podcast. Any questions you want me to answer? Feel free to put them in the chat. We've got a few people watching right now. If you haven't left a like, please do that and subscribe. Like I said, we haven't been live for 3 weeks. The last one was Morecambe. That was a while ago. It's great to be back. It's great to be back to doing live episodes of the podcast on a Saturday night. Really, really excited as well. Like I said, for next week, Sunderland. What a difficult game that's going to be. They don't get easy, do they? They don't get too much easier. Sunderland, how did they get on today? I believe they won today. Few interesting results around the grounds while we're here. You can see that we haven't done one for a while. We're really using the time wisely, as always on the podcast. Never waste time. So ground the grounds, Lincoln. That's not a great result, is it? Any Lincoln fans? That's not a great one. Losing at home to Accrington Stanley. They are not looking fantastic this season, are they? Unfortunately, Lincoln, they're struggling a little bit. That's not a great result for them. Sunderland beating Cambridge United in that game. Good result for Sunderland. Good result for Sunderland. They drew against Shrewsbury, didn't they, in the week? So yeah, that's a good result for them. Missed a penalty early on. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That's a sub. What's that? Oh, it's an own goal. It's an own goal early on. No, that's a good result. Sam Smith, ex-Oxford United player, did score a single goal on loan for us from Reading, I believe. Scoring a goal. Of course he did. But not enough. They did lose, Cambridge United, and Sunderland came through and won that game. Good result for them. Really good result for them. Sheffield Wednesday against Wickham 2-2. Very, very interesting, that one. If you want, by the way, if you're new and you didn't watch the podcast that we did a few weeks ago, literally a few days ago, actually, is what I meant to say. We did sort of like a roundup, actually, of the games. If you want to see that maybe tomorrow, maybe we could do it live. I could do a live one tomorrow if that's something you're interested in. Do sort of like a live roundup of the games in more detail. I'm going to continue actually to go through the games now, but in more detail I can look at those games tomorrow live if that's something you want to see. Matthew says any exciting videos coming up. Well, that could be one of them. Tomorrow, if you're interested, I'll do like a live roundup of all the games, sort of in more detail, and we can sort of talk about that live and get lots of fans in. That'd be interesting. I could do that tomorrow evening maybe, or tomorrow afternoon. Could be interesting. He did say any exciting videos coming up. There is something coming up that, again, I can say what it is, but I don't want to go into too much detail. Of course, we're coming up to Christmas, which sounds crazy. We are coming up to Christmas, so we could potentially see a Christmas special on the podcast. And I'm really, really looking forward to doing that. And from what I've got, what I've sort of got planned and what I hope for it could be really, really interesting. We did one last year, but, we have to remember last year it was very, very early on in the podcast journey. We're now a year on, of course. That's how Christmas works. They are every year. So, yeah, hopefully we can see that could be really, really exciting. So that is an exciting video or an exciting part of the podcast that we always enjoy doing. Christmas special, that should be back this year. It will be back, whatever happens. It will be back this year, so that's good. Any other exciting videos coming up? Like I said, tomorrow we could do a live roundup of this week's games. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the videos I do as well, they sort of come quite quickly. It's like they just come to mind straight away. Maybe do stars of the game week where you sing out the best players of the game week. We could maybe do that part of tomorrow's live show if we want. We could do that as a sort of a segment of the sort of the roundup of the week, if that's something you got to see, Matthew. Really good point. Spicy Game says Sunderland are quite hard too. They are quite hard. Sunderland are quite hard. They're not an easy game. Got some hard players as well. 2-2. Sheffield Wednesday against Wickham Wanderers. Interesting result. That sounds like a good game. I guess 0-0. We spoke about that game. We haven't spoken about that game a lot, have we? That one. Oxford Rotherham. I feel like we need to speak about that a bit more. Plymouth Wigan. Don't know I did that in that accent. Plymouth Wigan. That's an interesting result. I've already sort of touched on it, but Plymouth, they're getting their third straight defeat. Wigan, good result for them. Portsmouth winning. They're getting some results now, by the way. Portsmouth are climbing. Where are they in the league now? They got to be there. Yeah, 9th. They're really climbing now. They're getting some good results on the board. Bolton drawing to Cheltenham, 2-1 down at half time, getting back to a draw. Interesting result. Burton Doncaster. They beat Doncaster, struggling a little bit at the moment, aren't they? Shrewsbury. That's an interesting one. Shrewsbury. Really, that's a really good result for them in that one. Beating Charlton, who, like I said before this game, were looking really good. MK Dons smashed Morecambe away from home, 2-2. Of course, Fleetwood just sat their manager, so that's an interesting result there as well. Yeah, really, really interesting. Mad, that is coming up to a year of watching you, mate. How time has flown by. Yeah, that is a year. The first live stream was pretty much the start of 2021. 2021. So, yeah, I started doing live streams sort of in the new year. I'm just going to find out exactly when it was. But, yeah, just in that new year, I did my first ever live show. And let's find out where it was. Sorry, the Christmas special was 11 months ago, and then the next episode after the Christmas special was our first live stream, and it was when we beat Wimbledon 2-0. That was on the... Let's find out the exact date of that. The 27th of December. So it wasn't the New Year, actually. It was 2 days after Christmas. Wow. Fantastic stuff. And who made the first live chat of that stream? Of the podcast ever? Live shows? Of course, it was Matthew Bell. Of course it was. The most loyal subscriber I have. Or one of them. That's unfair. We've got lots of loyal subscribers, but Matthew was the first one. I've got to be honest as well. We are waffling a little bit. But really, really, really enjoyable, and we like doing the live stuff. And it's been a good podcast today. We've been going on for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. We've been chatting. We've been enjoying it. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to wrap it up there because we've all got Saturday night excitement to go to. Strictly Come Dancing's on, so I'm sure everyone's going to be tuning into that. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Jack. It's been the Young Fan Podcast. Take care. Stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon. A good result for Oxford today in difficult circumstances. A point against league leaders Rotherham United. Very, very exciting stuff. I've been Jack. Like I said, this has been the Young Fan Podcast. Take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you all very, very soon. See you in a bit.